Yeah, maybe this is a map they need to focus on either practicing or banning, but for now, KT, like you said, were able to put up a fight. The overstaying from SPT was punished, but they were able to take the game in the end. Seeing always looks so solid, but that was, quite honestly, a catastrophic mistake.
Yeah, if Falset hadn't died there, they could have reached level 20, like in all... no
one knew it was there. Just be.
Just leave it be. Let them come towards you. Exactly.
Do one of those things. You have so many escape-based abilities. He had to move, took half his health, then burned Gust, and was then killed off anyway.
Yep, that was certainly a little bit of a mistake there by seeing. And he, out of all the players that KT has, he always seemed to be one of the best. He always seemed to be one of the most reliable. And unfortunately, that one mistake in the game cost them a potential victory, or maybe even a potential hold. Let's not get ahead of ourselves with a victory, but they would have definitely been able to stay in the game for a little bit longer. But KT, man, I gotta give him a lot of props here. I definitely thought the game would be over by 16 at the very latest.
Here is a question from the chat. Do we know if we're going to have Stukov available for next week?
It's not been confirmed. However, knowing the fast pace that HGC China has, I would heavily lean towards a yes.
Yeah, because it's in theory, if I am correct, which I'm almost certainly not, it should become available on the Tuesday in terms of the 2 weeks rotation on the Tuesday of HGC China. Question is whether they will be lenient and move that one day back for the Monday, or be prudent and move it forward to the next week.
Yeah, I'm almost 100% certain that we're going to see Stukov available next week, which would of course be a nice bang to close HGC China Phase 2, right? Because next week, guys, is going to be the last week before the Eastern Clash. So, you know, having that very last week with the Stukov would be super cool.
Is this all you have? We will see. We will see if that's all they have, if we do see Stukov become available. That shall be fun. For now, though, we did see Gul'dan got the MVP. Fair enough. It sort of wrecked things. It did a lot of damage, so that was cool.
What we can expect, though, is that Stukov will be, of course, available during both the Eastern and the Western Clash. I would be very, very surprised if Blizzard said that he would not be allowed, because by then, most teams should have had enough time to practice with him or against him, and, you know, it's something for the fans as well. The fans want to see Stukov. He's definitely been a fan favorite. So many people actually were anticipating him on the forums, on Reddit, and I gotta say, the only fan favorites that are currently not in the game that many people are still craving is probably Kel'Thuzad in Deathwing. Although it is beyond me. Phoenix from the StarCraft fans, It is beyond me, though, how people can be so eager to have Deathwing and Kel'Thuzad. They're not nearly on my top Warcraft list.
Really? Kel'Thuzad isn't on your top?
No.
I guess you're a WoW guy, not a Warcraft guy, though, is the thing, isn't it?
Dude, I played Warcraft 3 semi-competitively.
Did you play the campaign, though?
I played all the campaigns. I'm not grubby.
You should understand the issue. You should understand the love that is Kel'Thuzad.
No, I don't know. I didn't really find him to be that cool. I mean, in his Lich form, he was definitely a little bit cooler, but the Necromancer form was...
Yeah, but you see him in his Lich form in Warcraft 3.
Yes, you do, in the add-on. In the Frozen Throne, you see him as a Lich.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And he's badass then. He's awesome.
I mean, you know what? I gotta confess something here. I was an undead main. And yet I...
You don't respect the Kel'Thuzad.
And Lich was always, you know, the Lich was always the second pick hero for most undeads. Of course, in the multiplayer mode, they were not named after, you know, the respective heroes in the campaign. It was just a Lich, right? So
the Lich, and what was Arthas known as?
It was the Death Knight.
The Death Knight, yes. It was
Nurbrek was the Crypt Lord. Then we had Dreadlords, which is still something I am desperately craving here for Heroes of the Storm. Having like Mal'Ganis, what's the name of Sylvanas' bodyguard? Varimathras.
Whose bodyguard, sorry?
Varimathras. He was the bodyguard of Sylvanas in Undercity in Vanilla WoW.
Yes.
You know, those were the days with the good Dreadlords. And
I mean, nowadays all we've got is Jaina. God.
Yeah, God, and she doesn't even have a Dreadlord skin.
So for now, ladies and gentlemen, as much as we would love to discuss heroes, we'd like to see like all day, and seriously, we would. We're gonna see Nubrak as the first ban from KT, Ariel continuing to make it into the ban phase from SPT.
Yeah, shout out to Seifer Sanders, definitely knowing his or her Warcraft 3 game. If you had a mirror match, Undead versus Undead, the Lich was actually commonly picked as a first hero because of the Frost Armor and the Frost Nova. It was really, really good. But enough about Warcraft 3. Good times, though. Good times. And back to Heroes of the Storm.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
Oh dear. That is that here is what we like to call the quick match comp. Coming in straight away for SPT. It's like, oh, what did the pro players carry on? We'll pick them, like all of them. And we're going to see Malthael and Genji coming in as the first picks for SPT and KT and Giga, because we're like, oh, we've made a bad choice. Yeah. We regret our life choices.
Yep, that is oftentimes the desperate smile when you see the train rushing towards you and you're like, no, I'm not going to be able to dodge that one. It was nice knowing you. I mean... The Genji is also played by Melody C, mind you, Tetcher. It is not just any Genji out there. It is Melody C, and out of all the Genji performances in HGC China that I've seen so far, he has been impressing me the most. The way he utilizes the mobility to take early objectives, the way he prioritizes targets to get those resets in after the Dragon Blade most prominently, it is just wonderful and very, very scary at the same time.
Exactly. So we're seeing KT with some responses, some CC heavy heroes, Stitches and Uther, to try and help deal with this.
Yeah, they need all the CC they can muster right now to keep those melee assassins and ranged assassins, Genji and Malthael, under control. You need to stun them, you need to silence them if you can, you need to drag them, you need to hook them, you need to gorge them. You just gotta keep them under control.
Tormented Grom. Gorge is a really effective way of removing the potential of that tormented soul value, so I personally like it.
Gotta say, Stitches' stomach must be the toughest material, or made of the toughest material I've ever seen.
Souls can't penetrate it.
Exactly! It can't be penetrated from the inside, so that makes him even scarier. Now, KT being
Souls
banned...
can't get through it. Kerrigan's lightning can't get through it.
Nope.
Had like psionic lightning. Who else has like a big old AoE
Stitch's
thing?
stomach is the void. It is literally the void. Nothing exists there. Nothing.
I like to think there's a mini void prism inside it. He ate Zeratul once, and Zeratul was casting R.
Okay. Malthael is going to be very scary though against those high HP targets like Stitches, and Stitches has one of the highest HP pools in the game, if not the highest HP pool. I read a rumor, or I read something on Grubby's channel the other day saying that Stitches has more HP than Cho'Gall. Can you confirm that?
If he stacks Q, if he stacks level 1, I'm pretty sure he can.
Yeah. Pretty scary.
I'll double check that. I'll double check if it's even without the talent. But I know with that level 1 talent, he definitely can.
Yeah. He can stack it up very, very nicely here. And you guys might be wondering, why would SPT ban the KT? And for many reasons. The two most important ones is, of course, that he brings formidable wave clear, which is always nice on Dragonshire. But the most important reason is the more melees you've got, the more targets you have that might clump up throughout team fights, the easier it is for KT to get value off his living bombs and the flame strikes. So they don't want to be dealing with that. Also, the damage over time coming from the Phoenix and the living bombs can penetrate after the deflect by Genji has been worn off. It is also really, really good against Malthael. He has a stun as well. So there's many things for KT to bring to the table, and that's why SPT wants to have none of it.
Okay, he does need the level 1 talent. At level 20, Cho'Gall has 7,140, Stitches has 6,573. But
still a lot.
He gets 900 extra health if he completes his Hungry for More, so Stitches will overtake.
Okay. There we go. Tanky Stitches just wants to play. Now, ranged assassins are needed, or specialists, respectively, for KT. What would you say might be the way to go against that very melee-centric team comp that SPT has?
The Falstad would be reasonable again. True. A little bit of extra Mighty Gust to assist dealing with this. I think they only need one range, though, because a second hero, I wouldn't mind seeing the new Zool. Because another solo lane would not be terrible for him.
Yeah, they should also pick a range to face the Malthaean lane. I don't think there's a lot of melee characters that can best him or out-sustain him, out-poke him. So maybe
Sylvanas.
Yeah, maybe Lunara, something along those lines.
True. Like we keep talking about what is good against Malthael, and what we usually end up going to is just pushing away from Malthael is good. And we do see that split push. We see that Tychus for the extra for a rage damage dealer who can also deal with the Muradin, and the Zul coming in as the last pick.
Okay, there we go, and Lunara also makes it through. Of course, Lunara's spread out poison damage is always a pain for Uther to deal with, if Lunara does it well. But let's talk more about the Zul here, Techi. You mentioned him briefly before, and even before he was reworked, we saw a rise of Zul whenever Malthael was locked in. Can you explain to us why?
Because what counters Malthael? The answer is not fighting Malthael. So you pick Zul or Sylvanas or something like that, and you just push the other lanes, and you try to gain so much of an advantage that Malthael just doesn't matter anymore. Exactly. His percentage damage he just is too weak against you. You avoid him, you take objectives, you do everything you can, and worst comes to worst, he engages you. You either drop the skeletons and slow him down, giving him much rougher time, or you drop the Poison Nova and just try and drop him as quick as you can.
Yeah, so long story short, if you can't fight him, outpush him. And that's, of course, where Zul excels at, especially on a map that allows you to go for those quick rotations because distance between the lanes is so short, like Dragonshire. So I'm really excited to see Zul back in action. He's actually been picked yesterday as well to great effect. So a really, really nice build there. And overall, did you see them in the Open Division in Europe yesterday?
Zul, we did not. Even though I did call it a couple times, but we did not see him make his way in.
What is your current go-to build on the Zul? Is it W, Q, or Skeleton Heavy?
W, personally I have not played him since the rework. All I've seen is actual other people play him. But the W seems to be the go-to build these days for him.
There we go. Game 2, KT and SPT. Alright, everything's on the line here for KT in this series. If they want to get at least 1 point out of this best of 2, they need to win this now. And we have T-Die on his Uther, Neptune on the Dahaka, Fury plays the Tychus, Sink on that Zul, and Butcher on Hungry Hungry Stitches.
Whereas on the right-hand side, it is Super Perfect Team with Jen Zhao on the Lunara, Melody C on the Genji, Misaka on the Muradin, Wings on the Malthael, and ZZH is playing the Rhaegar.
I think I just saw an SPT spray. Did you catch it?
No, I did not. I didn't know that we had sprays. I knew we had banners. Let's find out. Let's watch the sprays.
It might have been my eyes deceiving me here, but I think Lunara dropped an SPT spray. I cannot confirm it though.
Might have been just me getting old throughout the game.
Yep.
CC and damage dropped from both sides. The Bone Prism, CCing Misaka and Neptune nearly getting picked off by all that damage from Lunara. But so far, everyone's like, Genji wants it. He wants Neptune. One more time. One more time. No, he's not going to take the risk. As such, Neptune will be able to be back this time.
Yeah, maybe someone can take a clip or just take a look at the VOD and pause the very moment Lunara enters or exits the base, excuse me, and do some analysis on it. But in the meantime, Zul already falling victim to the gank by SPT. And we see, we see the evasive bone armor here, still going for the dodge, which is normally, I would say, the least popular these days because Shackless rework gives him a lot of value. And, the backlash has always been great, especially against frontline heavy teams.
Which is not exactly what this is, but then again, I don't mind it so much because it's great value against Lunara, against the Malthael. It is a full dodge, so that means Malthael's trait won't apply and the poison won't apply as well. You get more value out of it than I would say against some other heroes.
Ooh, and I think we have confirmation by Mr. Bean from the chat here. Hold on a minute, hold on a minute. SPT Wings, he's in trouble and he gets taken out. Oh, but Melody C,
counter kill. 1
Retaliation.
for 1.
But yeah, back to what Mr. Beam said in the chat. In the first game, apparently all of KT dropped KT sprays and 3 of SPT dropped SPT sprays. So,
wow, we completely missed
nice.
that. But now we know to keep the eye out for them so that we can see all this fancy new HGC stuff. And it's awesome T-Die. Patiently awaiting his opportunity, which I could have actually just hooked through Nara and probably got a huge amount of damage as Tychus came down, but they did not react in time, and I don't know if they had full vision of her.
Here we go. We see nothing out of the ordinary in terms of builds so far. What kind of wisp is that by Lunaro, though? Is that the one that separates itself?
I believe that's Dividing Wisp, yeah. It's definitely not the Vision Wisp.
No, the Nimble Wisp has a more green touch to it, whereas the Revealing Wisp has a red one. So
yeah, so I assume this has to be Dividing. There we go. We solved it, folks.
Here we go.
And there we go. We just saw it split on the minimap. One in that bush and one in the right bush. Boom. Sieg. Oh, he just went forward. He probably could have killed him, but he did not know. If you don't know, we can't doubt you for it. So, level 4 hit for both teams.
Yep, and both shrines now under control for SPT. Sync is extremely low, and unfortunately Lunaro said hello just as his bone armor was about to expire, and that was an easy kill for SPT.
Easy kill for SPT indeed, and now they're going to look to try and just bully Stitches to give themselves an opportunity, but Uther was able to move on to that bottom point. For now, though, KT just getting cleared up. 4 for 1 right now. 2-level lead, or 1 of the bit level lead for SPT.
So what I normally like to do is I want to compare Tomb of the Spider Queens to Dragonshires sometimes, because, you know, they're very similar in terms of rotations early on. You know, you have 2 turn-in points, if you will, that need to be capped. However, on Dragonshire, you have way more possibilities to actually surprise and ambush your targets, because you have more movement freedom. So I think that really starts to cripple KT, because they can get ganked by Genji and Malthael from multiple angles. It's much harder to predict where they're going to be coming from. And look at Melody C. I mean, it looks like a piece of cake, but he just makes this hero look like an absolute monster.
He really, really does. It is so scary. By the way, Malthael going for the Throwing Shade build. Taking that level 4 talent. Level 7 yet to pick. I can't remember exactly what talent comes with this. I believe it's still Touch of Death. No Cold Hand in this case.
He goes for the slow, yeah.
That's still fine.
That's totally fine, absolutely. Allows him to chase a little bit better, and especially against immobile targets like the Zul, that could be really, really crucial. Now, Misaka, look at this. He's the gatekeeper. He denied the gate to the Dragon Knight for KT, and he was having none of it. And that is the first Dragon Knight secured for SPT. Really nice body blocking there, because Stitches could not send a hook past Muradin's body. So, really solid, and this is starting to look more and more dire for KT.
Yes, it is. As T-Die drops down again, SPT continuing to snowball out of control right now. 6 kills to 1. Wings, can he escape the bone prism? Yes, he can. The drag not landing, and as such, Wings escapes.
Yeah, he escapes indeed, and I mean, Malthael is really hard to take down in the first place, and then Zul and Dag are not known to be the stickiest of heroes. If you don't kill him while the Zul Bone prison is active, you're probably never going to catch him anyway. So nice escape by Wings, and they get the first the first fort of the game here, Melody C in that Dragon Knight. And I really love the fact that Genji went in for the Dragon Knight as well, because even if the Dragon Knight gets destroyed or expires, it is extremely hard. Ooh, fancy escape here by Quinn Zhao. We actually saw a couple of cool Lunara moments with the Leaping Strike, even last week when Lunara dodged the Li Ming damage. That was so cool. Excuse me, it was the other way around. Li Ming actually dodged the Leaping Strike. So always a nice time to have Lunara in the game, because she's always down for some something out of the ordinary. Put it this way.
Indeed. Some cool athletic abilities
exactly
to show off here. We do actually see, by the way, it started as a full W build from Zul, and also a Holy Shock from Uther, so she has been demounting heroes most of the game so far.
Yep,
which is
full Curse Strikes build for Zul, which basically makes him a full team fight oriented hero. It's not about pushing with the skeletons anymore, it's all about slowing and attacking multiple people at the same time. Fury gets taken out here though. Easy peasy it looked for SPT. They just look so good. And Wings goes for the next one here. Yeah. Yeah.
Dun. Another one bites the dust. As Yeah, Malthael. Getting Malthael value. Dropping a Tormented Souls on 2 heroes, still good. Still get the healing, still
Always
get
good.
the damage. It's all good.
Always good. So, let us see here. The Holy Shot continues to harass Lunar a little bit, but that is just a tiny tickle. Uther is not known to be the biggest of burst mages here, but it's actually solid harass. We saw that yesterday on Towers of Doom, where he just kept on poking people from afar, denying them the turn and at the altar. So, you know, every now and then, a Holy Shock actually gets value.
Indeed. Can get some... It's great at demounting, great at poke. Zul in danger. Can they finish him? He did have Shade active.
Oh my god.
Using him as an escape. He's sustaining through thanks to his lifesteal, basically, but not able to survive and not able to get the kill either as Misaka gets Ancestral.
Yeah, nice Ancestral here. I don't think it was needed, but of course it is always better to be safe than sorry. Especially when you're so far ahead, you're definitely going to have Ancestral healing ready again when it really matters. Now level 13 has been unlocked for SPT. We see nothing out of the ordinary here. Healing static from Muradin, lightning, the Earth Shield as well.
Inevitable end from Malthael. So,
yeah,
cool talent. We don't see it that often.
Basically, is that the self-cleanse, right? That's the self-cleanse.
It is the self-cleanse.
Here we go.
So, pretty nice there. Usually we'd end up seeing Soul Siphon or Shroud of Wisdom on the very odd occasion of Ethereal Existence. So this is the least picked talent, I would say.
Yeah.
Cool to see, though.
I mean, it's nice if you time it well, right? It has a 2-second countdown, and after 2 seconds, you're going to become unstoppable for a couple of seconds, which is, of course, nice.
That's Shroud of Wisdom.
Excuse me.
It removes all Reaper's marks when you activate
There we go. There we go.
So, yes, we do see Wings moving in from the side. Torment Assault denied by the Gorge. That's good. As we do see Dahaka already taken out, though. Stitch is getting body blocked in and taken out. Fury is surviving for at least temporary amounts of time, but finally taken down. Zul has abandoned this bot lane completely and has gone to deep push top, leaving Uther alone.
Here we go, and that was a massive punt on that Odin. I don't think I've ever seen him that close in the camera. looked very cool for a moment here. But yeah, still a 3-level lead here in favor of SPT. KT, they're just looking like they're falling apart here. It looks like they don't know where to go. It looks like they don't have the map awareness. I mean, if Zul gets caught here, that might be another kill. Yeah. It just looks to me that they're overextending and they don't have the timing right to really dodge those ganks by SPT all over the place.
I don't know what he thought he would achieve by running this way, but he tried. He tried any escape route he could, but even 4v1, even if he'd run back towards the space, wouldn't have gone away. Zul, take it out. Exactly.
And we see Extra coming in here, by the way. I'm not sure if Melody just wants to have a good fun, or he felt like, yeah, I haven't been playing this Auric ability in a long time anymore. But, you know, it's also, we saw the value of a good X-Strike yesterday as well, when sometimes you just need to have that additional escape mechanism or a gap closer to really stay close to your targets. And sometimes it can actually have really, really decent value.
I saw the isolation dropped here onto the Malthael, but I think he actually did pre-cleanse himself there.
Yeah.
So I think that didn't have any effect. Either way, he's still available for this. If they want to engage, he has Tormented Souls available right now. So does he want to try and make another play here?
Yeah, I think they could also just wait for another Dragon Knight. The Shrines are going to activate in 15 seconds from now. Nice gimmick here by Genji, using the Surge Strike about when the Bone Armor, or the Bone Prison, excuse me, was about to activate, so he would have a nice distance between himself and the enemy team. Now, we see a 1-on-1 though. Muradin ended up falling in the process.
Muradin is down, but they're still pushing forwards, killing off everything. Neptune shall drop as well, even with the Uther trying desperately to keep him alive. 4v0 currently right now on the board for SPT, taking down the towers at the front here. Not going to be able to kill the keep, but they're about to pick up a DK, which will most certainly do the job.
Yeah, the Death Knight, excuse me, the Dragon Knight. Too much Warcraft 3 still in my system after that short conversation. The Dragon Knight is definitely going to seal the deal here, I feel. The bottom lane is already exposed, which means they could basically just waltz in there. Or if they want to take things a little bit more safely, a little bit more, you know, patiently, they could also go for yet another keep in the middle or top. It is theirs to choose. Nice little detail here. They wait for the Dragon Knight for everyone to be in position, so they don't waste any precious second here when it comes to the Dragon Knight duration. So really, really cool to see that. Be more patient, especially when you have the time and you have the vision on the enemy team. And, oh, nice hook. Melody Seed, too quick.
Yeah. Cyber agility, getting Genji out of there as they move forward. Just putting the pressure onto KT. The Dragon Knight could really just... It's only 11 minutes in, but the Dragon Knight's still going to move on to the core. It's not as tanky as it really can be in the late game, but they're still moving in for it. Gorge on Lunara, reducing that damage output, but the Dragon Knight's just sort of being left unattended to end the game.
Yeah.
So they need to react quickly. 50% on the core. Dragon Knight stutter stepping around, does not care, and that's going to be GG, X-Factor style, and we're going to be seeing SPT taking the 2-0.
Yet another clean victory for SPT, yet another clean 3 points for their accounts here. So really, really well done by them. Once again, cementing their top 1 seed spot here. I gotta give it to KT. They played really well in game number 1, even won team fights every now and then, but here on Dragonshire, they were just heavily outclassed by the sheer quality that SPT brings to the table, and this team just continues to impress. Who's gonna stop them in China right now, Tetcher?
It's got to be E-Star or CE. Maybe RPG can pull it out when we least expect it. But right now, it's looking pretty rough for anyone to be able to take that opportunity away from them.
Yeah.